What sketch plane would you like to use? Bottom. Good call. Rectangle. Oh, what size is my rectangle? I didn't take a look at that. Overall width looks like it's a little blurry, 1.975, yeah. And then overall height, 1.590. Here's the height. I'm going to put the dimension on it. 1.590. And then what was the width again? 1.975. So that's my rectangle. Zoom in a hair. There we go. Move that up. Put that there. Now I need to fillet the corners. What was the fillet dimension? 0.2, right? So I'm going to click on all four corners. Click on all four corners and then change my dimension. It came up as 0.4 for some reason. I'm going to do 0.2. Uh-oh. Look what happened. Look at my diagram. What happened?
One of them is really straight. How big is the rectangle?
Well, we just did that. Yeah, and it's here too. Can you see it up here? When I applied the fillet dimension, notice what happened. It kept fillet 1, 2, and 3 on the upper right, upper left, upper right, and lower right, but it warped fillet 4. I wonder why. It's possible, although, well, if you get an error like this, just click your rewind button and notice rewinding just one little rewind kept a square corner here, right? And now we have these 3 set, but look what they're set at. They're set at 0.4. I want it 0.2. And so it adjusted those 3 to 0.2. I still haven't done this one yet, but that's okay, because I can go back and apply it separately at 0.2. And that's okay to do that sometimes. What should be my next move, do you think? Extrude, okay, let's do that. Finish sketch. Extrude. How far? 0.3. So I'm going to click the home button just to see my extrusion. Okay. So that's the little plastic piece that'll sit down in the middle of the car body. And then the people will fit in there. Y'all remember playing with the cars, right? You remember the little plastic piece, right? Okay, good. All right, so this is the top and this is the surface we're going to put the sketches of the geometric shapes. Now, the next question would be, should we do one geometric shape at a time, or should we try and do all 4 on the same sketch? I personally recommend taking it one at a time, because if you mess up on the 3rd one, now you've got to start all over. So let's do them one at a time. It shouldn't affect anything. So I'm going to right click on this surface, create sketch. And we'll start with the easiest one. We're going to draw a circle. So get your circle tool. Try and see if I hover close to the edge, it's going to try and make me connect. It's going to give me different symbols that show in blue that show me connecting to things. Let's not do that. Let's just put the circle somewhere over here where it's not really connecting to anything. And let's just draw a simple little circle and don't worry about size or anything, because we're going to apply the dimensions that will move it into place and give us the correct size. So that means I need 3 dimensions coming up. I need a location along the x-axis, a location along the y-axis, and a diameter. So look on our original documentation and see if we can find those 3 numbers. a location along the x-axis, so a distance from the left. What you got? 0.2. Distance from the top line, 0.05, and a diameter of 0.580 looks like. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and dimension the circle to 0.580. Okay. And now I'm going to dimension, notice, well, I say notice, let me look at it again to make sure they did that too. No, see, here's where my frustration comes in a little bit. When you're getting ready to make a dimension, right? You're going to dimension from the center of the circle though. I don't think it's going to let you dimension from the edge. Maybe, but generally speaking, we apply dimensions to center points from the edge, which is now you're going to have to do a little math. If we're going center point to edge, it's going to be, what's the center point to the edge of the circle? What's that called?
The radius.
Radius. So you'll need to know your radius measurement, not your diameter measurement. So what's the radius of a 0.58 circle? Was that 0.29, right? So you're just one step shy of 0.6, which is a little bit shy of 0.3 for a radius. So yeah, 0.29 multiply 29 times 2 is 58. So 0.29 is the radius plus the 0.20 for the distance.
So it's 0.49.
That's, yes, unless Fusion is different from Inventor. So unless Fusion lets you dimension from the edge of the circle to here,
It does.
but it does not. So you can click on the edge of the circle, but it's going to pull the dimension from the center. And that should be, what do we say? 0.49 total, which is our radius plus 0.20. So we got to do the same math vertically from the center of the circle to the top edge.
0.05 plus 0.29.
So 0.29, here I'm going to type it in. 0.29 plus sign 0.05. Let the computer do the math for you. It's less likely to make an error than you are. So that looks correct, I guess. That's way too far out. Let's bring that back to there. So does everybody's circle sort of look like mine compared to the rest of the block? So that's it for geometric shape number 1. So let's finish that sketch. Let's finish that sketch and let's go ahead and extrude cut that circle. All right, so I'm going to finish that sketch and then we're going to extrude cut all the way through. So select my circle. Distance, I can go all. So I changed my extent, my distance to all. And instead of new body, I want to change that to a cut. And what it should do is flip the direction of the arrow. And if it doesn't flip the direction of the arrow, you can click the flip button or you can just grab the arrow and drag it all the way down. All right, and that is our first geometric shape. According to our next, let's go ahead and do the square next. Notice that the square is going to be very similar to the circle in that its closest edge to the top is 0.05 and its distance from the front edge is 0.2. So it's similar to the circle as far as the X and Y coordinates are concerned. So right click on the surface. Oops, did I click okay? Of course not. Right click on the surface, create sketch. This time we're using the rectangle tool. So distance of 0.05 from the top. Well, I guess I need to set my length of that side. Length of that side is 0.58. The height is also 0.58. The distance of the front edge, sorry, the right edge of the square to the right side of the plastic piece is 0.2. Everybody have those measurements, those dimensions, those placements. So remember, we're not just putting a size of the square, we're putting the location of the square. A distance along the X from one side or the other, a distance along the Y from one side or the other. All right, let's cut that square out. Extrude, click on it. Go to house view, grab the arrow, drag it down, click OK. Oh, we got to do sketch. Sorry. It's create a sketch. So right click on the part, create sketch, and then we're going to draw it here. Go under create and go down to polygon. Circumscribed polygons, inscribed polygons, or edge polygons. So circumscribed polygons are polygons that you draw on the outside of a circle. Inscribed polygons are polygons that you draw on the inside of a circle. So basically you draw a circle first, and then you connect the points. You do your center points lined up, and you basically draw it to the edge. We're drawing edges. So we're going to be using an edge polygon. Creates a polygon by defining a single edge and the position of the polygon. Creates a polygon using the center point and a vertex. Creates a polygon using a center point and the midpoint on one edge. Well, we probably do it with any of these, but I'm going to use an edge polygon. See if that works. That may not work. Let's find out. So I'm going to just basically draw an edge. Drawing a straight line, making sure it says 90 degrees. And then look what happens when I move my mouse. It gives me a polygon, doesn't it? You see that? How many sides do we want? 3. So I'm going to type in the number 3. And then I'm going to hit enter. I'm now going to dimension the length of the side. And what was that side length supposed to be? 0.638. Now I have to tell it where should it be located. So we're going to locate this bottom vertex to the bottom part of the part at 0.05. Right, it's the front vertex to the side. It's 0.2. All right, let's cut that guy out. Finish sketch, extrude, click on the triangle, go back to your isometric view, grab your arrow, drag it down. Okay. All right, I'm gonna right click here. We're gonna put our last sketch on here. Now, we can do the exact same thing we just did with the triangle and have two overlapping triangles to create a star. Circle, oh, polygon, circumscribed. So starting with the center point, change it to a 3. And then do another one, a 3. Once again, making sure they're the same size. We'll still have to apply dimension. Make sure this is 0.5 or 0.53 or whatever you want. As long as it's roughly the same size as the other figures. And I hit escape and I can grab that center point and move it a little bit. Oh no, it's wonky. So don't do that. Don't grab the center point. All right, so right now I still don't have really a true star yet. I've got 6 triangles and a hexagon. So what I need to do now is something you haven't done yet, I don't think. We're going to go through and we're going to do a modify using these scissors. So click your scissors tool. Click your scissors tool. And then we're going to delete these little lines right here. This line here is going to get deleted. This line here. So delete your internal hexagon. And now what I'm truly left with is a star, a 6-sided star. Now if I grab the center point, it still makes it wonky if I move it. Actually, no, it straightened back up. Figure. All right, we'll just have to go back and dimension the old way. So yeah, 0.05. Actually, it looks pretty good where it is. I'm gonna say 0.1. 0.1 for this one instead of 0.05, just because it's smaller. And then from the front, let's put a dimension of, looks pretty close. Let's put 0.2. We'll just do 0.2. So 0.2 from the left and 0.1 from the bottom. Then finish that sketch and extrude cut. Make sure it's cut, or just grab the arrow, drag it down. And there we have our plastic insert. Passenger insert. Now, to save money on plastic, I'm going to shell this out. I'm going to hollow out the bottom. So what we have to do is we have to make sure we flip it over so we see the bottom of it before we shell. So use your rotation cube over here. This is what I use all the time to move stuff around. And I want to click a bottom edge or a bottom corner so I can see underneath it. So all I did was, if I click the home button, that's where I am right there at home. If I go over to this cube and I click one of the bottom corners, it's going to let me see underneath. And that's what I want to see. I want to see underneath here. This is where I'm going to click when I shell. So shell is similar to an extrusion, similar to an extrude cut, but it takes into account any shapes that are in the figure. Shell's under modify. Go to your modify tools. This is number 4. So you press shell and then click underneath. Then it says, how thick is the shell? Somebody look on the other diagram and tell me how thick the shell is. It's on the green. 0.01. So type in 0.01. And it makes sure all of the hollowed out area is 0.01 all the way around. And then once again, if you can apply color to this, if you would like, you go up to your name and appearance. I'm going to make mine green since that was the original. But if you had a car that you used and you want to make it that color, please feel free.
I'm gonna do the dimension because it wasn't like.
You want to stay away from translucent glossy.
It's like
So I'm going to do enamel glossy. That's pretty. Put that in my palette. Drag and drop. All right, and then I'm going to save that and call that passenger. Insert. Type it in. And this is IED 2021. And then it's a matter of creating a drawing sheet.